Welcome to Commander Tune-Ups with the Nitpicking Nerds.
This time we're tuning up an Omnath Locus of Creation deck submitted by Zach G.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, Beezy, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds. We're doing these tune-ups from the Kickstarter. They're going to start popping up every week. But if you want to support the channel, go to the TCG Player link in the description. Buy the cards you want to buy anyway. But when you buy them this way, we get a kickback and it helps both of us.
Yes, very much appreciated. And if you want to help us support 50K, which is on the horizon coming up, there's a P.O. box in the description. Send us whatever you want and we'll open it for video.
It'll be sweet. What are we doing right now?
Commander Tune-Ups. We take your deck. This time it's Zach G's Omnath Locus of Creation deck. We take their budget, $500, which is a huge budget, and we upgrade it under whatever restrictions. The only restriction was, hey, this is an Omnath deck, and I have $500 to throw at it.
Perfect. Let's read the commander. Red, green, white, blue for a 4/4 elemental. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 4 life if it's the first time this ability has resolved this turn. If it's the second time, you add green, red, white, blue. If it's the third time, Omnath deals 4 damage to each opponent and each planeswalker you don't control. The theme of this deck is very obvious. Landfall. We're going to play a million lands, and we're going to trigger Omnath over and over and over. We're going to snowball value, and then we're going to get to the point where no one can challenge us.
Yeah, this is a very obvious theme for the deck. I mean, Omnath is a landfall commander. He has landfall written on him. Like you said, the game plan, extra lands. Trigger Omnath, trigger all our other landfall abilities, make a huge board state, and perhaps even go off with a couple of combos.
Ooh, combos, you say? Well, let's start off with, before we get into the combos and the cards we added and cut it, that's the best cards in the deck. Cards that were already in there, we left them in because they're like the centerpieces of the deck.
Yeah, the first one is the centerpiece of this deck, and it's the way I built it, and it seemed to be the way that it was also built by Zach G. Field of the Dead, centerpiece. You absolutely love this card. You want it out every single game. You want to have multiple of them out. Vesuva was also in here. You copy Field of the Dead every time you can.
Yeah, this is actually the centerpiece of the format. You guys had it close with centerpiece of the deck, but it should be in every deck ever, and it's the best card ever made. So definitely, we're going to just spam zombies every single game, and if they don't have land destruction, they're not going to be able to keep up already.
Yes. BZ's opinion on Field of the Dead is correct if he's talking about Omnath decks.
Or any deck.
Omnath decks, specifically.
Or pretty much just anything. Basically the same thing. Scoot Swarm, it's going to make way more bugs, but at the cost of being more easy to remove because it's a creature.
Yeah, and it is easy to remove usually, but actually it turns out in this deck, we have so many extra landfalls. We're going to get so many on the board, it's going to take a board wipe, and spot removal is not going to do it against a Scoot Swarm because we have so many extra in decks with things like Wayward Swordtooth, Azusa Lost But Seeking, Dryad of the Elysian Grove, Oracle of Moldiah, AC, Tyrant of Gyre Straits, and Exploration. These all just give us extra land drops, and they're all super awesome in this deck.
Yep, there's also, we're only going to be able to play so many lands, but we're going to take extra lands from our graveyard and play Ravenous Excavator and Ancient Green Warden so that we can go through all our lands and then just start sacking or just playing fetch lands, and even if we run out of targets, sack, fail to find, cast, play it again, sack, fail to find, play it again, just get more landfall triggers than was even possible.
Yeah, one thing I mentioned to BZ, BZ was like, I think we should cut Ancient Green Warden. It's a very overcosted for this effect. You get this effect for 3 mana, but this deck, it wants to be playing lands from its graveyard so bad, it's willing to play the 6-mana version of it.
I mean, it does double the triggers, so, you know, with Scoot Swarm, instead of making 16, you can make 32, or, like, double your Field of the Dead zombies. There's other things you can do with it. It's not bad. It's probably actively good.
Yeah, it's definitely not a bad card. I just think it's an interesting card, because, like, on paper, this looks medium, because it is overcosted for its effect. But when you want lands from your graveyard so bad for this deck, and we will get into why very soon. And Perforos, God of the Forge, this is here to pay off our combos and to pay out the fact that we have a jillion ways to generate tokens.
We're going to spam Field of the Dead. It's going to be out by turn 6 every single game with a zombie.
That's going to be our goal.
This is an Omnath deck, so most of the budget, half the budget, went into the best part of the deck, the most important part of the deck, lands. You're not going to be able to interact with our main resource because no one's playing mass land destruction. And even if they were, we have plenty of ways to get them back. So the cards we cut, Azorius Chancery, Gruul Turf, Celestia Sanctuary, Boros Garrison, Treva's Ruins, and Undiscovered Paradise, they're all lands that return themselves. And I get the idea, you can get extra landfalls this way, but they're slow, they enter tapped, they expose you at least a little bit more than usual to land destruction, and we don't need them.
We just don't need them. That's the thing. Yeah, there are combos with the bounce lands, and they were in this deck. We changed them into combos we think are more consistent and use better cards overall. These bounce lands are very, very weak in Commander, especially they come in tapped, is a main issue, and getting them destroyed is hugely detrimental.
Yeah, I just don't I get the combo. That's like the only reason that Zach G was playing these. But we just cut the combo, cut that. It was basically Secure Tribe Scout, these, and Retreat to Coral Helm. We cut the main part of that, and then we're going to use something different with Retreat to Coral Helm later. Also cut Forest, Mountain, Island, Plains.
This is a 4-color deck. There's still 8 basics, 1 of each and 1 of each snow in the deck. We don't need to have more basics than that. That's the max we're going to need ever for a deck like this. My deck, personally, playing the same amount of lands, went down all the way to 4, 1 of each, not even playing snow-covered.
Yeah, we have plenty of typed lands, so you're going to find duels and stuff to fetch. You won't ever run out of fetch targets. Evolving Wilds, Terramorphic Expanse, Fabled Passage, Blighted Woodland, just 4 fetch lands that are just not going to cut it when we have access to the stuff that we added with our $500 budget.
We just had too much budget, and the fact of the matter is the mana base of an Omnath deck is the core of the Omnath deck. The deck is calling for throw money at my mana base, make the mana base great. When we can do that, we're going to straight up go to the ads now. We're going to put in every single fetch land we can. That was the first things I added, and it didn't matter that this was like half the budget. This is where the money should go in an Omnath deck. Misty Rainforest, Golden Tyrant, Marsh Flats, Bloodstained Wire, Wooded Foothills, and Windswept Heath. You want all these. You absolutely want every single game. So you want to maximize your chance of drawing it. You don't want there to be... I've had games where I don't draw the fetch line. I go, oh man, this deck is a lot worse when you don't draw the fetch line.
They enable your play from graveyard cards, and they double your landfall triggers every single time you play them. It just makes your deck like 1.5 times more effective, and just because you played fetch lands instead of a duel. So we added enough so that now we have all 10 fetches. There is not a fetch that's left out.
Yeah, we cut the Fabled Passage and the Terramorphic Expanses and the Evolving Wilds because the Evolving Wilds and the Terramorphic Expanses come in tapped every time. And the Fabled Passage is just getting basics. If you're gonna keep improving this deck, you can get down to 4 basics easy, and I think you should aim to eventually get down to 4 basics, as this deck is not a deck trying to play basics at all.
Yeah, the last thing, if you really don't feel like buying fetches or it feels bad or something, you don't 100% need them. If you want to make a more budgetary ads for lands, you can just use like the Battle Bond duels. It's not going to be that crazy, but you're missing out on double triggers and cards from graveyard, and that's like going to make this deck function differently.
Yeah, that's why we added them right away, because Omnath himself wants a fetch land. The ability that you want on this card every time is the second one.
Yep.
You want that second land drop, and a fetch land gives you that every single time.
Oh yeah.
Fetch lands are absolutely bonkers, and this commander wants them more than anything. Obviously, they're not 110% necessary, but they are so necessary that we would spend half our budget on them.
And it's the first things. If we only had to do one thing, it's probably just add fetch lands to the deck, because the deck's going to be able to function better. The next adds Horizon Canopy, Waterlogged Grove, Fiery Islet. They're lands that put themselves in the graveyard, replace themselves so you can play them again, and you can just go off with these, and taking any damage is literally nothing. Hence, City of Brass, Mana Confluence, perfect fixing. Damage is irrelevant, especially with Omnath. As soon as you gain 4 life twice, you're like, all right, none of those damages mattered at all.
Not even a little bit. Omnath gains so much life over the course of the game.
Life.
Yeah, it's just insane. Like, you don't have to worry about your life total at all. Like you said, all these fetches cracking every single turn, not going to have to worry about it. City of Brass, Mana Confluence, the Waterlogged Grove, the Horizon Canopy, these are nothing. This damage is not going to add up because you gain 4 a turn, and if you really want, you can wait to crack your fetch to gain an 8 on it to go around.
Yeah, if you don't have a better way to use your mana, just gain 4 life, pass, and then fetch, and gain 4 life again on the next player's turn. There's also Sheltered Thicket, Scatter Groves for some redundant duels, and Thespian Stage. You can never have too many Field of the Deads, I always say.
You want to be... Yeah, you can't. Thespian Stage legitimately is in this deck to copy Field of the Dead. BZ's not just being a troll.
No.
This time, he's actually very serious. Yeah. We can get 3 Field of the Deads on the field, and if we can, we're going to go absolutely insane. Actually, this deck can make 4.
It can make 4.
This can make 4. We'll get to that one in a minute. But like you said about the Sheltered Thicket and the Scatter Grove, you want 100% to not run out of fetch targets in this deck, so maximize them. Yeah, these are worse. They come in tapped. We know they're not ideal. But if you run out of fetch targets, you'll realize, oh, yeah, I definitely did want those. I'll take those over an untapped duel in this deck because they're fetchable.
Right. This must be the deck tech for me, because the next category is literally called Getting Field of the Dead, which is how I function in real life, and we cut nothing. Because why would you ever cut a card that goes and finds Field of the Dead? We added Hour of Promise, go get it, or if you already have it, go get Vesuva and Thespian Stage. Crop Rotation, go get it. Wargate, one of the best tutors ever. It's just 3 mana, find any land in play, or if you have more mana, find any permanent in your deck. Light of the Reliquary triggers landfall at least twice a turn if you're not finding Field of the Dead. amazing card. And Pier's Whim, 3 for 1, then go find Field of the Dead.
Yeah, Our Promise I really like in this deck because you have 5 lands, you play it. Oh no, I got 2 more lands. Field of the Dead, something else. 2 triggers, 2 zombies. I really do like. That's one of my favorite play lines in this deck.
That's supposed to be your payoff for getting 2 deserts. Well, we did it. We got 2 zombies.
We got the 2 zombies for not. No, you have to.
I've never realized that.
That's kind of funny. I actually didn't think about that at all. But yeah. Our Promise. You get the Field of Dead. You get another land. You do that, and if you already have Field of Dead out, you can get Vesuva and copy it.
And you get 4, right?
You'd have to have 6 lands in play already because you're gonna have one of the same name now. But yeah, all these ways are to get that.
Next category, it's not the lands, but it's the land synergies cards that care about lands. Quite a hefty amount of cuts. Paducah Gardener, Sakura Tribe Scout, that combo's out of here, we don't need them. Sky Shroud Ranger, Nahiri's Lithoforming, Zurin Orb, Horn of Greed, Burgeoning, Course of Crucifix, and Geode Rager are all gone.
Yeah, one card I want to go over that I put in my deck and I also cut was Horn of Greed. I think this card is a trap. It looks so much better on paper, but it only counts lands you play.
Yeah.
And because of that, it just becomes like this ridiculous group hug card that everyone's taking advantage of. And yeah, you'll sometimes get 2 on your turn, but you're giving out 3 each go around. It's not worth it. And Horn of Greed, I think, is just a trap, and it looks good. Burgeoning, Omnath doesn't want lands on other players' turns. He wants them on your turn, all 1 turn, so I also cut that. I'm not a big fan of it.
Yeah, what do we add?
We added Crucible Worlds. We need every single way to play lands from our graveyard. Crucible Worlds, we already have Raymond Up, we already had Greenboard. We want all 3 of those, definitely. Growth Spiral, just, this is an easy add. It's not like amazing or anything. In fact, it's probably one of the next cuts if you're really going up in budget. And Sakura Tribe Elder, we have Perforos in the deck. We care about creatures.
Yeah.
Okay, let's add one of the best ramp ways. That's a creature base. And Ruin Ghost, which is part of our combo. BZ, tell them about Ruin Ghost.
Well, Ruin Ghost says white tap, exile a land you control, then return it to the battlefield. Great. So if we have Retreat to Coral Helm out and our landfalls untap a creature, let's say we have a Plains. You tap the Plains for white, tap the Ruin Ghost, flicker the Plains, enters untapped, which then triggers Retreat. Untap Ruin Ghost, you're exactly where you started. So if you have any landfall payoff, you get it infinitely. Field of the Dead, infinite zombies. A bunch of other cards we're going to mention later. Infinite counters, infinite power, infinite tokens. I think Felidar Retreat was in this deck. Infinite counters on your team. And if you have Perforos, infinite zombies means you win the game right now.
Yeah, this deck is that's the combo we added in the deck. Ruin Ghost already is pay a white, tap,
pay 0. It just taps.
Well, it does pay a white tap, but you're going to get the white back afterward.
Right.
But this just triggers landfall for free, which is a nice thing to just have on the battlefield. So much better than having the Gardeners and the Tribe Scouts that just, as soon as you reach turn 4, those start getting really bad because now you have only lands in your graveyard. Ruin Ghost is real awesome.
It also saves your Field of Dead from strip mine. So if you have Ruin Ghost untapped, no one can strip mine you.
That's also true. I didn't even think about that one.
Tell them about the removal cherries.
Well, we had a couple of cuts. Vandablast. I'm not a fan of Vandablast if we have green or white. Or I guess green, especially green and white. We definitely don't need Vandablast there. And also Path to Exile. We have better removal. We're in so many colors that we don't have to go down the Path to Exile. We added Tragic Arrogance, board wipe. Ondu Inversion, been very impressed with this card as a bailout for a big mana deck. Super awesome. Cyclonic Rift, I mean, if we have all infinite budget, of course we threw in Cyclonic Rift. I know it's boring, but it's amazing. Heliod's Intervention, the direct replacement for the Vandablast. Mm-hmm. You have a million mana. You are going to be able to do this anyway. It's basically going to be Vandablast. It's going to cost you a little bit more mana.
It's always more efficient. There's also Zakama Primal Calamity. You cast it, you untap all your lands. It's basically Time Walk, and then you can just pass if you want, or start chaining more nonsense, and it controls the board by itself every time. I don't know why this deck has to have so many residual ways to gain life with Heliod's Intervention and Zakama, so we're never going to die to like a lightning bolt.
It's
not possible.
Yeah, and a commander, like we said earlier.
Yeah, exactly. I want to say that I was just thinking. Aura Shards is one of the cards that I was like, oh, way better than Vandablast. That's some of the green-white spice you get. It was already in the deck. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I just clicked it right now. Field of the Dead Aura Shards is nuts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Just ridiculous. Not even fair. Lastly, it's the Miscellaneous. It's the everything else. Here's the category for the rest of the stuff we added and cutted. Why do I keep saying cutted? Nature's Spiral. Congregation at Dawn. Too slow of a tutor, I think. Garrick's Uprising. Not a huge fan. I mean, our zombies aren't even going to be 4/4s.
I mean, our average creatures, the creatures we're making, most of them don't have 4 power, and that's why I'm not in for Garrick's Rising. Temur Ascendancy's the same kind of draw engine. The haste could be relevant in some situations, but we We have other ways to win. Regrowth, we don't need regrowth. We want a card we added, Eternal Witness. We'll go over that in a second.
Plus Balgate Recovery was already in the deck.
Yeah, that was already in the deck. So like Nature Spiral and Regrowth just don't need to be here because we have Eternal Witness and Balgate Recovery. Then there's Heroic Intervention, which you don't need because another direct replacement to Fairies Protection.
Which we added.
You just never need the Heroic Intervention when you have Fairies Protection. And Risen Reef, just not quite.
There's like no elementals.
Yeah, it's not.
I mean, I guess it works with
Omnath.
No, Zendikar's Royal, but that's like a 2-card not combo. It's just like a 2-card good synergy. But aside from it, it's like a weak, what's it called? The 1/1 snake. The heck's that card?
Coiling Oracle.
Coiling Oracle.
Yeah, it's whatever. And the adds here, we added Kodama of the East Tree, which goes infinite with a ham sandwich. There's also Seagate Restoration, just a nice big payoff for when we have all these lands and nothing to do with them. All right, here's my land draws me 4 cards.
We also added Field of the Dead. Oh no, it says Mythos of Aluna, but we're just going to use the copy any permanent Field of the Dead. Oh, there it is. One of the things that I noticed with playing a different deck is if you make a token of a land, it's basically a land. Like tokens feel more fragile, but there's no way to like take out a token land that isn't just going to take out a regular land. It's just a land. I mean, this is ramp, and it's another Field of the Dead, and you're going to feel amazing about it. And I want to add that Kodama of the East Tree. Wabo combo's basically a 2-card infinite with Moloku of the Clouded Mirror. He was already in the deck. He just used Moloku's ability, bounce a land, make a 1/1. Kodama says, oh, a permanent entered. You have a land in your hand. Play it, and then now that enters untapped, so you win. Yeah. Well, you make infinite 1/1 flyers. You don't win. You just make infinite 1/1 flyers.
Yeah, it definitely demands an answer immediately. Unless you have a payoff, like Perfros, then you just win.
Then we're done here.
Yeah, so let's go over the stats for the deck. Budget, $500. We spent $488.14. Damn, we're good for starters.
Yeah, damn, we're good.
Yeah, damn, we're good. But most of that, like half of that, is literally fetches. I mean,
221.
I'm not joking. I'll say it again because I think it is that important. I think this deck, I play this basically this exact kind of deck. It wasn't mine. Isn't as combo heavy. It's more trying to be like super casual. Like it's playing like
you're trying to make tokens. You put Rampaging Balos in.
Yeah, I put Rampaging Balos in to like slow down the deck and make it more clunky. And because of that, like I know how much these decks truly want fetches every single game. So I honestly suggest if you're gonna put $500 in this deck, you do spend the $250 on fetches.
Yeah, the average mana value originally was 3.30, pretty solid, and we changed it up a little bit to 3.32. Functionally, all your spells are going to be about the same. Whenever you want to calculate the mana value of a deck, don't include the MDFCs. Their default is 0, and sometimes they cost mana.
Yeah, no, it's so bad. It's so annoying when you're doing these. We include 4 to 5 MDFCs in our decks almost every single time.
Yeah.
So when we do end up doing this math, we end up going, stop. This is so annoying. This is not... Our average CMCs have gone up so much since MDFCs are released because the mythic ones all cost like 7 mana.
Right. It's like, oh, this deck isn't 3.7, it's 3.3. It's literally like half a point lower. And the total changes 33. The number 3 appears a lot. I think we didn't really need to go more than that. 33 felt fine, and half of them were lands.
This deck was good. I mean, a lot of what this deck was doing was very focused. The only thing we cut away from in the main deck was the focus on that combo, and that was only because we can improve those slots into all the cards for the combo are so medium.
Yeah, we have 2 other combos that are either 2 or 3 cards, including your commander.
Exactly. Kodama and Moloku are already amazing in the deck.
Right,
and cool. They're gonna function. They're gonna be awesome in a deck no matter what. Like Kodama just lets you play a second land every turn, regardless. There's so much to this deck, and making all the cards good by themselves makes the deck that much better.
Man, with Kodama in the deck, you might just want to throw in like the Miser's bounce land. Maybe leave the Gruul Turf back in, because I'm just thinking like Gruul Turf with Field of the Dead and Kodama just makes infinite zombies.
Yeah.
Kodama's stupid. I mean, there's so many ways to go infinite with Kodama, so maybe if you want to leave a Gruul Turf in, go for it, but you don't need 4. You can find the one of bounce land easily.
Yeah, we just have more land tutors. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you just if you want to go more in on like tutoring things up, there's also Realms Uncharted. We're not going to care if they go to our graveyard because we have all those ways to play them from our graveyard.
It'll feel like the gifts cheat where you just get like Unburial Rights, Elishnorn.
Yeah,
you can't choose anything.
Well, thank you, Zach, for donating to Patreon, or not Patreon. This
Kickstarter.
This is Kickstarter. Thank you for supporting our Kickstarter. We're currently waiting on the money to come in so we can purchase the cameras, the table, everything. We're gonna purchase everything, and then we're gonna get cracking. I'm hoping by November that we can have a video at least shot.
Like in the editing booth.
In the editing booth. But we'll see. We're definitely aiming for the end of the year for our first gameplay video. Very excited about that. Special shout outs to all of our patrons. Love you all as much as we can without making you uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable right now because for some reason it's very hot in this room.
It's really hot. I don't know. Maybe it's the 7 lights we have set up. Who's to say? Also, we have the heat on.
We have the heat on?
Yeah, go to the
This
TCG
is your
player link
fault.
in the description. Buy the cards you were going to buy anyway, whether the heat is on or off. The website still works. When you buy the stuff, we get a kickback on the order, and it's like you're giving us a little tip without using your wallet, which is like, what?
You could have told. We could have just fixed that.
Maybe the heat's on. I don't even know for sure.
I hope not.
It might not be on.
If the heat is on, we're no longer friends.
The heat is on. What does that mean? That's something, right?
The heat
is on. Is that like the pressure's on?
The heat is on. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it is. We have a Discord?
Yep, we do have a Discord, and in that Discord, you can come and shoot us some messages. We literally respond to every DM. I help people with decks all the time.
I responded to like 5 DMs yesterday. It was great.
I feel like I'm the worst because, like,
me too.
No, the worst at when I respond to DMs is like people want deck help, and I try and help, and I'm always just like, it's so hard for me to because I'm usually working on something else to focus in on the deck, and then I give them advice, and like I hope that's what they wanted.
You should just say talk to Beezy.
Wow, okay, talk to Beezy, guys. Message him for your deck tech wants.
And I'll just say talk to Joe.
It's an infinite.
We respond to every DM.
It's like talk to your mother.
Yeah, ask your father.
Not ask your mother.
How about that for a 2-minute? That was the worst.
What?
I hated it.
I don't remember that happening too much.
My brother was like the favorite, so he would get the talk to your father and then just get the green light for it, but I would get talk to your father and I'd have to like clean my room before I did something. It sucked.
Yeah, see, I'm never going to bother doing that.
I'm talking to your father?
I'm not going to do the talk to your father thing.
Oh, you're not going to do that to your kids?
Yeah, I'm not going to do talk to your father. I'll either...
How about like you just talk to them? Why don't you you and some guy, right? Just talk to the father and then say, hey, do you want our kid to go to the hangout, the sleepover? And then it's like yes or no.
Yeah, it's pretty... Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, I don't...
We're such good parents.
We're gonna be the best parents.
It's just tied for the best parents. We're not parenting one child.
No,
both sets of us as parents will be good parents.
We have one. There's this one kid.
We do parent my cat Amber.
Yeah, that's true. There's one kid, and me and Beezy have to raise it. It's a sitcom now.
Ugh. 2 poopy babies and a baby.
My 2 dads, but one's straight.
No, it's 2 poopy babies and a baby. For sure.
2 poopy babies and a baby.
The baby is above us. The video's over.
Where's the baby above us?
Please.
Where's the baby? What is the shot? I don't know what the baby is. Peace out, Tribe Scout.